Charlotte Lewis with Share with Charlotte podcast, where emphasis is placed on finding balance in relationships. I am the creator and host, and I want to say thank you for tuning in again to another episode. Believe it or not, but this is my last of my season 2. This is the last episode, and I'm excited about the topic in which I want to speak on because it's so relevant to what everything that we've talked about through season 1, season 2, and that is relationships. This episode is titled The Value of Building Relationships. You were not created to be an island. And it just seems so appropriate. And I know I always speak of all the time about the elephant in the room, another elephant in the room. Well, check this out. This is the biggest elephant in the room. Of all the elephants, this is the biggest. And that truly is about relationships. Why? Because we suck at it. We are not good at relationship as people. But relationship is just merely where it says it's just 2 or more. Whether it be in concept, whether it's ideal, bounce off each other, or whether it be objects. Because you can love your car, you can love your material thing, you can love stuff. But also it involves people. 2 or more, you being one in connection with someone else. But you're connecting. But I want to also include animals. Because you can love whether it's amphibians, whether it's reptile, whether it's mammal, whatever it is. You can love anything. You can have a relationship with anything. But we suck at it, people. We suck at relationships when it comes to people. Now, you can love on your animals. You can treat them well. You can get them groomed. You can take them to the vet. You can make sure they fed on time. You take them to so they can be, placed somewhere as someone can watch them while you leave. But then when it comes to relationship with people, we minimize in what we do, how we care for that. Because there's a reason this title is called The Value of Building Relationships. Simply because building meaning is to create something. And if you don't build a relationship, that means you're doing nothing. And if you're doing nothing, there is no relationships. So you got to build the relationships. And there's just so many different ways you can literally build a relationship, whether it's in your family, whether you're married, whether you have children, whether your parents, your siblings, your extended family. There's so many ways in your family you can build relationships. But we know a lot of times families do not get along. We know a lot of times that there's families don't even have a relationship. There's no value in having that. And then you also have other relationships, whether it be professional, whether it be intimacy with someone else, whether you're married, you got a spouse, or whether you got a neighbor. Do you even know your neighbor? Do you know your neighbor? Or do you even want to know your neighbor? I guess that should be the question. Do you even want to know your neighbor? Because a lot of times we do not value relationships. We'd rather leave them than to actually extend ourselves out to create one, to build one. Because we know when you have a relationship with someone, you got to get to know them. You asking questions. And a lot of times we look at people, unfortunately, as a nuisance. I don't want to talk to that person. I don't want to talk to this person. I don't like this person's attitude. I don't like that person's attitude. I don't like the way they do this, the way they look, the way they... it's just so many reasons why we talk ourselves out of getting to know someone or speak to someone. We don't value people. And when you don't value people, you certainly do not value relationships. So we're going to talk about interpersonal relationship, which just involve people. We're not going to get into how you love on your animals, how you love on your things that you accumulated, your stuff. We're not going to talk about that. We just want to talk about how you get along with just people. Just people. Because when God created Adam, he could have really just created Adam and just left it alone, but he didn't do that. He created Eve. Because you were not created to be an island. From the very beginning of time, God did not create you to be one. And I'm not saying you have to go out and marry, but certainly what he said is you need people. He brought people into the world because he wanted people to need each other. Not to destroy each other. Not to neglect each other. Not to not care for each other. not to isolate yourself from them. But he brought people together because it says two or more. Well, Adam and Eve is two. That's your two. Adam and Eve. And the only thing that I can think of that's single in a relationship would be you. And it's important that you still have that relationship with you. But when you extend that relationship out from you to someone else is when we are the worst. We are the very worst. We'd rather go hide than to be around people. You can even go to a function, you'll find a corner, just so you don't have to deal with people. You may go and step outside, or you may just go sit in your car. At least you showed up, because you don't want to deal with people. Some people move away, secluded, to a secluded area to be alone, up in the hill, the mountains, or wherever you want to go for isolation. Just commune with nature. Just want to be in a state of, just being away. They can get far away enough from people. Because we come with so many different personalities. We come with so many different issues and hang-ups and all this other stuff. But you know what? Just like other people come with stuff, don't think you don't come with stuff. You come with stuff that people also have to put up with you. You are not made perfect. So you also have stuff within yourself that you haven't even dealt with, that somebody else has to deal with. You are not made perfect. But it is sad when you see people who can even work in the same department and can walk in, sit at their desk, and may or may not even speak, may not even acknowledge that they're even walking into the room. Because they don't say, well, I just go to work. I don't have to know who they are. Don't want to know who they are. I go to work, do my job, and I leave. And you just be like, wow. But it's the value of building relationships. And if you are not attached to people, if you don't somehow connect to people, because it's all about connecting, then you don't have compassion. You don't even know how to give grace. You don't know how to give mercy. You don't know how to love for someone else. You don't know what sacrifice looks like when it comes to people. Serving, because you don't connect with people. But it's the value of building relationships. You can have your dog or your cat, or it can be a fish in a bowl, will get more attention sometimes than you even give your parent. That you may or may not ever call your parent. It takes you weeks to pick up a phone just to say hello. Do you even check in to see if there's anything that you can do? Because of the things that they did for you as a child. And I'm not saying everybody had a perfect childhood, because I certainly didn't have one. But it still say honor your parents. Honor either your mother and your father. You honor them. Meaning you don't go and hide from them. You don't go and get lost from them. Same thing with children. Same thing with your spouse. You're not, what's the one thing that we complain about in relationship? You're not attentive to me. You don't see me. You don't hear me. But you see your car. You see your animal. You love on them. You pet them. You hug them. But we neglect each other. We neglect each other. As if we don't value building relationships. And we live in such a hostile environment. And that's why I call it the biggest elephant in the room. Because that is survival for man is through relationships. That's why this country is in chaos. It's the building of relationships. We don't value that. That's why all these countries are at war. We don't value building relationships. That's why your home probably is chaotic. Because we don't value building relationships. That's why extended family, we got little pockets. little cliques. Who hang together, who don't hang together. Who come to this function, who's invited, who's not invited. Because somewhere in that circle, someone does not value relationships. When you create havoc all the time, the drama, the craziness, you don't value relationships. But to value relationship, you gotta build it. You gotta build it. It doesn't just create on its own. You can't not create something unless you put time in it, work into it, effort into it. Unless you make some sacrifices. You roll up your sleeve and make it matter. That's how you build relationships. I just been one of those people who I can go anywhere at any given time. I just been one of those people that people gravitate to me and I gravitate to people. But I know that's not something natural for everyone. I know that's not natural. So I get that. Probably for you it takes more effort. But a simple hello is so easy. As if you walk into a room or you see someone and you make eye contact. It's not a simple hello. And a lot of times we act as if we don't see nobody. We don't talk to no one. There should be some level of friendliness. That you're open. But a lot of us, we're very sheltered when it comes to ourselves. As if don't talk to me and I won't talk to you mentality. Because you don't want to be bothered. But you have to build relationships. Whether it's in your marriage, you got to build it. You got to put in the work. That's why people always say, yeah, marriage is a lot of work. Yes, it is. Marriage is a lot of work. But that's because you're building. Building creates work. Building. That's how you build. You got to put in the work. But the relationship, you have to value. The relationship. You have to put value in that in order to roll up your sleeve, to make the sacrifice, to put in the work, to go the extra when you don't want to. But you still got to find it in you, that resilience to say, but I'm not done yet. I got a little bit more I can do. And you got to push a little harder. Put in a little bit more effort. Because that's what it takes. That's work. But building a relationship, it's not easy. On some of the levels in which you want to create it. It's not. Especially when you in a relationship that's more intimate. Because that means you dived in a lot deeper to get to know that person. And then you have family that God put together for you. You were born into this. You didn't ask for this. You were born into this. Now that you're born into it, what do? And then I know there's examples of, but you just don't know my mother. You just don't know my father. You just don't know my siblings. I get that. Because I don't know who they are. And I do know some people that you would love to build a relationship, but they're not ready because they're so resistant to your effort. Or they're hanging on to baggage that they cannot let go. You can't weed your way through all that. You can't find light anywhere. And sometimes it's about God's timing. That you have to also allow them time to heal for whatever that is, to move in your direction, and you meet them halfway. But I know there's some situation that feels and seems hopeless. But those are the ones you pray about. You pray about those. Because God created family for a reason. Now the other people you choose by choice. Because you didn't know them. You weren't born into that. But we're just so... People, man. People just got problems. People just have problems. And this whole podcast has been about finding balance in relationships. And sometimes it's just hard to find that balance. But I always say, you always first start with yourself. Now, God's a given, Because that's so important that you find balance in your relationship with Him. But in the earthly realm here, where are you also with yourself? Because that is so critical, that you find relationship that's balanced within you. And then I always say, and then you extend it out to other people in how you love. But we should always be in a state of building something beautiful. When you see people together that have beautiful relationship, it's almost to the level that you envy that, because they're just laughing, they're having a nice time, they're talking, they're sharing, they're spending quality time with each other. And it looks good looking at it, to feel just like, wow, they gotta be nice. I've been blessed to be close to my family, my children. I had my husband. That, of course, yes, we had to go through some counseling to work out some kinks. So sometimes there's wrinkles, because we were building the relationship to be something truly good and healthy. And it took work to build with my children. You have to sacrifice, put in, and be that parent that they need, but yet that friend, now that they're adults, that they need from you. But we always in a state of building. Because if I don't put in the time with them, if I don't check in with them, and if they don't check in with me, then we're neglecting the relationship. But you're always in a constant state of building. All that is, when you say building just means you're in a constant state of doing. It's a constant state of doing. But I love my family. I love my family. I love the idea of my family. I love the existence of my family. I love my family. I love my extended family. Now, does everybody get along the same? No, because everybody is in a different place. But I love my family. I love my family. And then you have to look at your family, where you are. What can you make better in your family? What can you build? Because it's the value in building relationship. Where is your family or people you know that you could put in more work? And it's the value in which you see your work. The value in building. Because if you don't see the value, you're not going to put in the work. Why would you? Because you don't see the value that's in it. But what you want to do is, anywhere you can, create something that's beautiful. Because God is so big on family. He's so big on relationships, on all relationships. All relationships. Because God loved people. That's why He made Adam and He made Eve. Man was not created to be an island. You were not created to be an island. God did not expect you to run from people, to run toward things, as if people don't exist, as if you don't need people. But building the value and building relationship, it even extends beyond that, because you don't know who's going to cross paths with you years from now, when you're in a situation that they're going to remember you years ago, that they're in a position now to bless you because of the relationship. The relationship. This world is not that big. We evolve around. People come back around again. But when you build relationship, people will remember you. And people who remember you when it's very favorable, they speak well of you. They will help you. They will go out of their way to do for you because you made that impression. Relationship is like, to me, I always look at it like this. You can have money. You can have a lot of money. But it's like saying to yourself, well, I don't need credit. You can have all that money, but you still need good credit. Because somewhere, you're going to need credit. Well, the same thing when it comes to relationships. Where you can say, well, yes, I've developed some relationships. But that credit to that relationship is when it come back around and those people remember you. It's like having credit, good credit, because those people remember you and they remember you favorably. Because you never know how God going to use those people that you formed a relationship with to come back around to be a blessing to you. You think you're just getting to know somebody for the moment. No, God is looking ahead. He already knows the end to the beginning. He's already setting things in place. You just think you were just nice to someone. Because people come and people go, but people a lot of times come right back around. And when people can speak well of you, it travels. Think about that. And when people speak ill of you, it travels. And it's to your advantage that people are able to speak well of you than to speak ill of you. Because it travels. But there's the value of building relationship. It's like creating credit. Because you never know when things going to come back around and you're going to need it. In a relationship, you are not created to be an island. God created man and people so that people could unite and have unity. Of course, man messed that up. So you find little small pockets of unity. People that you can connect with. People that you can call a friend. People that you can call a good acquaintance that you met. Someone that you can just help just because. You don't have to be rewarded, but you see a need because that's compassion you have for people. But at the same time, you build a relationship. Don't be so where you're so guarded because of that selfish nature in you. And if you are to that place where it's just a matter of a shyness, open up with nothing but a hello. That's a start. But a lot of us do not like to give up our time, our money, our resources. And so we guard ourselves intentionally so we won't be bothered. Because we call it being bothered. I call it service. But if you look at it as being bothered, then it takes a negative turn. And you purposely detach yourself from people because you don't want to be bothered. But sometimes the service comes in just being nice, or just a nice hello, a nice gesture, just a friendly conversation, a hug, a prayer. But it's all in the value of building relationships. And keep in mind, relationships, they come and the relationship goes. Sometimes that relationship is on an instant. You build something in that moment and then they leave. But they leave with more than what they had when they met you. And that's a beautiful thing. I've met people where I would even say, let me pray for you. Can I pray for you now? Because sometimes people just want to share with you what's going on. It's still the value in building a relationship. In that moment, there was a relationship between me and that person. And I pray with them. And they walk away. Or I may just be where I provide a service. But in that moment, it was a relationship. It wasn't intended to be long term or anything lasted beyond maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But in that moment, we connected. And that's what relationship is. It's connecting. But you were not created to be an island. Remember that. You were not created to be an island. That's what I loved about this podcast from the beginning when God said, speak on relationships. Because he's so big on relationship. He's big in every aspect of your life about relationship, but he values people. He values your relationship with each other. With each other. And what better place to start than your home? But it's the value in building relationship. That means putting in work. Putting in work. But first you gotta value. You gotta value it in order to put in the work. So I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you because the world is just on fire. It's not just the United States, man. The world, we on fire. We need some love. We need some compassion. We need people to step up and just care. Just to care. Don't just see somebody and walk by like you don't see them. In that moment, yes, it's a relationship, then you move on. And I always say, when God put on your spirit to do something, do something. Because he put on your spirit to do it. So do something. But in that moment, you're connecting two people. All it takes is two to connect, to form a relationship, and then it moves on. And sometimes it lingers. Sometimes you build from there and you still have that relationship years later. But it's how you met. People always ask you, like, why did y'all meet? Well, we met at the grocery store. We met at a red light. We met walking. You can meet in so many ways. You can meet people. And sometimes people just need a friend. Not that they need anything from you other than they just want to connect. They just want to connect. And as always, you always choose wisely in how you connect and who you connect with as far as friendship and relationship. I'm not saying you can't help people, but there's a difference between how those people that you remain in your circle as close. We always want to be careful of who that is, because everybody don't mean you well. Everybody don't have good intentions. We've spoken about that before. But I'm just speaking in general. When people act like people don't exist. And I don't know who I'm speaking to. I just know this podcast is about relationship. So I'm going to end this on this season 2. Still talking about relationship. And it's the value in building relationships. You were not created to be an island. You were not created to be an island. So just remember that. I hope that's helped you where you are, which I don't know where that is. I hope it's been good feeding for you to even think about, at least process, analyze yourself. Are you one of those people who maintain that space of an island, detached from folk, don't want to deal with people unless I have to, unless I just absolutely have to? But you were not designed for that. You were not created for that. I'm telling you, you were not. That's not what God created you for. People are here for a purpose and a reason. And that truly is for each other. And of course, always and foremost to do God's business. But he gave you breath for a reason. He gave you life for a reason. And it is the biggest elephant in the room. And that is, we suck at relationships. And we got to do better. We got to do better with relationships. And it got to start with you. Just like it had to start with me, it got to start with you. Start with you. Don't look around anybody else. You can just look at yourself. As much as I love people, as much as I do, but I'm still in that place of building. It never stops. And that's in building relationships. I'm still in that place because I do place value on building relationships. And I want to encourage you to place value in building relationships. So thank you for listening to this last episode of season 2. I thank you for that. And as I dive into season 3, I look forward to my next chapter, actually, my next chapter. And that is letter sharing. And I spoke about that before, letter sharing. And I'm going to speak a little bit again. I actually gave it a name. It's Share with Charlotte, but it's also titled From You to Me. So it's from letters from you to me, that I will take those letters. Let's talk about it. What's on your mind? What are you thinking about? What are you troubled about? What are you happy about? What's going on? Any topic, just talk to me. I want to meet you where you are. And that way you can be a blessing to someone else based on what you share. Because I promise you, you're not the only one thinking it. Or you're not the only one who've experienced it. Or you're not the only one going through something or came out of something. You're not the only one. But it could be whatever that is. If you're having a great day, share your great day. We love a great day. Love that. Life treating you good. God is so good. Share your testimony, your blessing. Let's hear about it. But it's from you to me. What you want to share with Charlotte. Please subscribe and follow me on my channel. You can also find me on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. I would love your comments. Please, your comments, they mean a lot to me. Please post those, please. I would really appreciate that. And also, in this message you could share, please share with someone you think could use this message. Because relationship is a big thing, people. It's a big thing. And it's the biggest elephant in the room. And it's the one thing we're the worst at. And that is building relationships. So thank you for tuning in for this particular one. And I will looking forward to my very first episode for season 3. I look forward to that. And I will see you on the next one. Thank you so much. And don't forget to subscribe and follow and be a part of my podcast community. Thank you so much. And I love you.